Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Ben Bateman.
And I'm Andrew Guy.
And we are the Action Guys. Gonna roll on right through it this time.
What an interesting weekend we just had.
It's been a heck of a weekend, heck of a week, heck of 2 weeks, we'll even say.
We're not even talking about movies at this point. It's just been crazy.
It's been wild. It's been busy. It's exciting. We're excited to be here on the Action Guys, talking to you guys, the loyal fans of the show.
Yeah.
There's a lot to update you on. Today on the show, we are going to be talking about the true Best Picture of 2018. What is that? As you may have guessed or seen from the title, it may have something to do with Spider-Man.
Might just have a little bit to do with a movie called Into the Spider-Verse.
Just possibly.
Winner of Best Animated Film, but that is neither here nor there. So it's the Oscars, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Green Book wins once again, which is kind of, it was the favorite.
Did you see the reaction, the Chadwick Boseman to Michael B thing?
Oh yeah, the shade, right? Like,
it's just ridiculous. It's like it just felt like, I mean, I don't know why people are focusing on it so much. It was like made a lot of news, but it's just like one of those things where you're like, that's actually what it's like.
Well, because
front row at the Oscars,
the biggest stage in the world. You were in the biggest movie in the world, and you are still sitting there going, "Yep, we still got screwed."
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy. And like I keep hearing people referring it to Driving Miss Daisy 2. I heard Spike Lee had an outburst. He tried to leave, which I understand because his movie actually probably should have won. It was a better movie.
I think it's funny, like a few years back when I was working a lot for Black Hollywood Live. Yes, that's a real thing.
That's great.
I was on a show called The Branded Athlete, and I was on it for like probably like a year. We interviewed a bunch of athletes.
You have Ocho Cinco on there?
Well, we didn't have Chad. We had T.O.
Oh, no, T.O. Yeah,
we had a bunch of guys. We had like T.O. and Nate Burleson, Captain Munnerlyn. And like I remember talking to these guys, and you'd it was early in my career as a host, so like even just interacting on a personal level with somebody who was a little bit famous was very new to me, and it was very fresh and refreshing when I would talk to like an athlete, and I'd kind of talk to them like I was on their level, And I remember like asking these guys about the NFL, and like you realize their opinion about their peers and the league they're in, the business they're in, is the same as ours. It's just like, yeah, I think he's kind of a diva, or like, oh, they're not going to win, they can't win, and it's like it's the same conversations we have. So you got to imagine. I relate this to Chadwick and Michael B. Just probably ahead of time, like, this is not going to win.
There's no way.
Green Book, it's like, Chadwick's probably like, you watch. And then it happens and he looks back and he gives that look.
I told you, man. I told you.
Yeah, like.
Which is crazy because I haven't seen Green Book, so I can't really speak on it personally. But from what I've heard from everyone, every single person goes, it's fine. Yeah,
it's totally that movie. It's that kind of irrelevant movie. And it's going to inspire a conversation for us here talking about the nature of Oscar-winning films, Best Picture-winning films, and how so often they feel out of touch with what is actually relevant that year, which would suggest that it's possible that there was a better movie this year than even one of the films that was nominated.
Yeah, 100%. So I think what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the true Best Picture winner of the
best
Oscars.
Film of 2018.
And why. And it is Into the Spider-Verse. And of course, before that, you guys got to follow us on social.
You got to follow the socials. We're at Team Action Show on Twitter. We got Instagram at Action Industries. If you guys go and respond there's a contest running every week on the story. We post an image from an action movie. If you can guess what that image is, if you're first, we will answer one of your questions on Action Movie Anatomy, which is our other show we do every week. We have Action Industries page on Facebook. If you go like that, Action Industries right now is blowing up
everywhere. We've got an incredible team working for us. We are so very lucky to have them. And the very last thing, you guys have talked about it at home. You guys have been raving about it in the comments. Ben and I made it happen. We will have full episodes of Tag on video for you guys.
Tag is short for the Action Guys.
Oh yeah, the Action Guys. The only way you guys are actually going to be able to get those episodes, though, you got to follow us on socials. You got to follow us on those platforms so you can actually see where we'll be releasing them.
Yes, we'll be releasing them soon. That we're working out currently exactly how that's going to work, but absolutely do that. It's going to be an exciting way for us to continue to give back to you guys with more content. So, of those Spider-Man characters, it's Nick Cage's Spider-Man Noir that got me the most. I mean, I honestly I kept saying to people when they'd be like, Spider-Man Noir was so good.
They'd be like, I just got out of a screener of Into the Spider-Verse. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I'd be like, how was Nick Cage? Was Nick Cage good in that movie? Like, what?
Like, what is wrong with you?
And I'd be like, oh yeah, he was great. And like, like I was just so excited that Cage was going to be in this movie and it was going to be a big deal. And like, he's a huge comic book fan. Massive.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. I mean, because
So-
he wanted to be in the Superman Origins movie or whatever.
Yeah, and he was in Ghost Rider. Obviously,
Yeah.
that was a good decision for his career.
It's
And
real great.
but he's just great at Spider-Man Noir. He's hilarious. It's funny. He pokes fun at himself. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a fun thing that we talked about that I think is interesting. It was a question that was prompted to us by one of our fans asking, like, you know, now that this movie has happened and we saw what it did and how revolutionary it can be, what other properties or entities would you like to see this kind of take on? And what I think is so fascinating is that this movie went into so many other dimensions and did so many things, so many like reality bending things on screen that I don't think you could actually execute properly practically
Yeah.
or live action. I would love to see another comic book story or entity be done like this.